Welcome to Deer Feet. I'm Renee.
And I'm Jess.
And we're the Deerfoot Sisters. Today we are starting Season 2. Woohoo! We know you guys have been anxiously awaiting our next season, so we're getting started today, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about wrapping up the summer, getting back to school, regular routines, and what we have in store for Season 2. Jess nodded. You can't hear it because this is a podcast, but she gave an affirmative head nod.
Yes, I'm very tired.
And it shows.
So right now I'm watching the dog because my best friends / roommates are at a wedding, and last night I went to bed around midnight, and then I woke up at 1:45 because the dog barked.
You said 1:44 when you told me.
Yeah, it actually was 1:44. It was because I was hoping it was later.
Yeah.
Because if it was late enough, I would have just not gone back to sleep. I would have just been like, whatever, I'm staying awake.
Right.
But it was not very late, so I was like, dang it. I have to go back to sleep, otherwise I'll be like ridiculously tired. But it was crazy because she was like, woof, woof. It was like, and I just like started awake, and my heart was pounding like so fast.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, that's fucking crazy. Ooh, pardon me. And I got out. I went out into the like.
I mean, that's really not crazy. Like a dog barking, and she's not even barking like loudly.
It's just scary. It's scary.
Okay, because I'm like, the way you're describing it isn't really crazy. It's
well,
just,
it
like,
was no. I'm saying
pretty
it was
normal
crazy
dog
how
behavior.
fast my heart was pounding.
Oh, okay.
And then of course it made me think like, oh, I'm gonna die of a heart attack because my mom always said werewolves. Or what'd she say? No one died from a werewolf attack, but people have died from fear. And I'm like, yeah, I probably will get so scared I will give myself a heart attack.
Nice, Mom.
Anyway, so I come out here. I don't see anything weird. I know that she would bark like crazy if like a stranger was in the house because I've seen her bark at some people that she doesn't know. She's typically quite friendly, but one time she was barking a lot at a friend I had over, and another time she barked at our brother. Now, if you don't know him, you can check him out on the Beefy Boys. He's Joe. It's BOIS Boys. Beefy, BEEFY.
You've probably heard their ads like 100 times on our
Anyway,
podcast.
When you see him, you'll realize that like it would be quite normal that like dogs and babies would be scared of him.
He's basically terrifying.
He kind of looks like the comic book man from The Simpsons.
That's not nice.
But like greasier.
That's not even possible.
Anyway, so
More
it was the day that our
three-dimensional.
dad died, and we all came back to the house, and we decompressed and, you know, spent some time together. And we all come in, and then the like screen door, whatever, not screen, the glass door closed, storm door, and Joe came, and he was on the other side, and the dog was like vicious.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes me feel good, because that means to me that she would like be protective, because she's big. So like people might be scared of her normally, but she's just like, hey, what's up? You know, and, like her tongue's out the side of her mouth, and she's like, you know, waddling.
She sees like a little dog, and she's like, oh, and like rolls on her back and puts her like paws up.
But I guess when she sees someone that she thinks isn't safe, she's like, and I'm like, okay, good. But yeah, so she was like, woof, woof. And I was like,
That is so crazy. I can't even believe she barked.
it's effing crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's why you could never live by yourself.
I know.
Honestly.
Well, no, I was like, I could live by myself without a dog.
Oh, you just don't want anyone to alert you to the danger?
I know, it's like,
Ignorance is bliss type
it's
scenario?
like dual-sided. Because it's like, can I go, it's like, would I want to be alerted? No. But then on the other side, the dog would probably protect me if they're a good protector dog.
Right, obviously.
So, no, I mean, also, it's like, that's also why I kind of prefer, if I have an apartment, to live on the second floor.
Yeah.
Because you almost
don't
feel
like
a
people
little bit
walking in
like-
your windows or whatever.
Yeah, you feel like a little bit more safe. But honestly, I really didn't get scared at all while I was staying at Nana's house last year, and I was there for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was good. But no, so anyway, so I really had to pee. So I like checked it. She was looking out the window. I turned on the light, looked out the window, didn't see anything. I was like, oh, probably some raccoons or something like that.
Raccoons.
That's how I say raccoon. Anyway, so I went to the bathroom. We have this little baby gate that kind of keeps her on the front half of the house, but I left it open. I go to the bathroom. I shut the bathroom door. I go back in my bedroom. I locked the bedroom door because I was just like, I'll just be doubly safe. And then I was like kind of calming down. I was like, all right, I'm just going to go back to sleep. Hopefully I'll get to sleep because Renee's coming over at 8 in the morning to record our podcast. Mm-hmm. And then as I'm drifting off, I hear the creak. Actually, you should go do it to see if they can hear it. I don't know if they'll be able to hear it. I hear the creak of the bathroom door opening. And I was like, what the hell? It was like, and I was like, whoa. And I hear like, because Callie...
Someone just broke in your house to use the bathroom. They're like, I just have to pee really badly.
Well, I assumed it was the bathroom door. I was like, because, you know. And then I'm like, and then she has like, I don't know if she's a bell in her collar, if her collar's just kind of jangly.
Yeah.
So you can kind of hear it sometimes. But the AC was on and it was kind of like muting the noise.
Right.
Plus, I guess like she's pretty quiet when she wants to be. Like you can mostly just hear the jangling because of her like soft paw pads.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, I mean, the cat could have gone in there, but he typically has less interest of going in there because essentially our bathroom door, the knob is kind of screwed up, so, or the like, yeah, so it doesn't really latch well, so definitely, so like I definitely closed it, so either the cat or dog, I'm pretty sure it was the dog, pushed the door open.
Right.
And that freaked me out. But then, so then again, and it's so weird, like how fast my heart was just like, I was literally about to fall asleep, and then it was like, boom, 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 like pounding. And I was like, dang, I'm scared. So
dang, I'm scared.
So I have one friend, and I texted him, because he's always up late, and I was like, are you up? And he's like, I'm about to fall asleep. And I was like, dang, I was wondering if you wanted to come by, because I'm like really freaked out. And he was like, oh, I was like, it's okay. He's like, don't worry. Puppers has your back. And then he sends like, what I guess is like a dog emoji, but it looks like a wolf. And then I was like, I had to delete the emoji. I had to like delete the text because the emoji scared me.
That's too much.
Oh.
The emoji scared you?
Yeah, and that's me.
Yeah, that's interesting, Jess.
I should read statistics of how many people, like how many crimes and stuff happen during the day, because I'm always like, once it's daylight, it'll be fine. You just feel so much less scared in the day.
Yeah, but I mean, home invasions are like really rare.
Oh, I know.
And especially if you have a dog.
I know. I was like, it's really rare. And then I was like, and what's this person? I was like, is there really a person here? Like, why would they be waiting so long to like do something?
Well, they just needed to use the bathroom. Like, they're just like, okay, there's obviously a bathroom available here, and I'm gonna use it. So that's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm tired too because I woke up early and then fell back asleep, but it was nothing scary. I just woke up because
You should have brought us some coffee or something.
I don't really drink coffee.
A big gulp at
or
least.
alcohol. I'm basically a Mormon. I'm just like,
no, you don't drink alcohol. You almost made it sound like you should have brought alcohol.
Oh.
I was like a big gulp or alcohol. I was like, well, here's your wine.
No, I'm saying I don't
have
drink
this 10-day-old
alcohol.
wine that's been sitting here.
It's aerating.
Try it.
No, I don't want to drink a bottle of Josh.
Yes, you do.
Anyway, so yeah, that's interesting. At the beach house, I had a scary dream event, remember?
Oh, I thought you were going to say you had a scary drink. I was like, oh.
Why are you obsessed with alcohol? Jeez. Anyway, so...
Because I'm more of an alcoholic than you.
We went to the beach 2 weeks ago. We brought Finnegan. It was a really fun little trip for the week. What are you looking at?
Oh, the dog, there's like... I think it's just like something that she's breathing in. There's like a piece of cellophane kind of by her face. And at first I thought she was eating it, but I think she's just breathing and it's moving around and it's kind of tickling her face.
Okay, well, can you look at
Oh,
me?
no. Actually, Kelly, what is that thing?
Just leave her alone. All right, so anyway, we went to the beach.
Straws. She's like cuddling with it.
She loves straws. So we went to the beach, and while we were there, we were sitting at the beach house, which is pretty small.
Seriously, Kelly?
So for the first half of the week, it was just me and Finnegan. And then Tim came down like during the second half of the week to join us, and my mom was there on the weekends. So the beach house has 2 beds, and they're both kind of small. There's a full and a queen, so they're not too small, but too small for 3 people. So Finn and I slept in the queen the first half of the week, but then when Daddy, Tim, came down, they were like, Finn basically was like, well, why don't you just sleep on the couch? And I was like, fine. It's honestly more comfortable. The bed's really, really hard. So I was sleeping on the couch. So I went out and slept there, and at the middle of the night, I heard a whisper in my ear. At first I thought I heard like noises, like someone in the room, and then I just heard a whisper in my ear, and it was like, just said, yes. Like really loud, which isn't inherently scary, but the fact that it like whispered right in my ear. And you know, like in horror movies when there's like, I don't really know how to describe it, but there's like a sound and it gets like louder at the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, but it was like a creepy way it sounded, and it woke me up like the same thing right away. I was like, heart was pounding, and I was like, oh my God. And I really thought someone was at the house. So I like got up and I looked. It's not a big house. It's pretty easy to look around. But I looked. I checked all the doors. I checked the porch. There was like nobody there, obviously. So I just went back to sleep. But it was like really creepy. And then the next couple of, like 2 days later, my ear started hurting. Like the ear that got whispered into. And then I had a dream that I had like blood coming out of that ear. And then the next day I cleaned my ears and it was like bloody on my Q-tips. And I was like, that's weird. So a ghost whispered in my ear, and now it's like falling apart.
That's weird, but it's not like crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's pretty normal. But yeah, so that was pretty creepy because we're always having our creepy experiences. Oh, and we are going to be having probably some sort of Halloween spooktacular this year. We haven't planned it yet, but I feel like we will probably bring back some scary stories for Halloween.
Oh, I thought you meant the Halloween party we're having. I was like, don't invite all of our listeners to a Halloween party.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You can't come to our party. Well, now you just told them about it.
Probably most of them can.
Yeah, seriously. If you're hearing this, you're probably already invited because you're probably one of our 20 friends. Or a mom. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that for Halloween. So if you have scary stories, please email us so that we can share some of listener stories because they're just really fun and kind of spooky. Anyway, moving on.
Did you tell them about, I wasn't listening, sorry.
I know, it was pretty clear.
I knew the story and I was texting. Did you tell them about when Finn sneaked up on us?
No.
Snuck up on us?
Snuck. I don't know.
He was drunk.
Scared us? Did you say he was drunk?
Yeah.
He wasn't drunk, everybody. He's only 7. I don't give him alcohol.
He had drank a lot of milk. Actually, he really didn't drink milk.
He probably mostly drank
Gatorade.
Powerade.
Yeah. He had like 1 Powerade and 2 Gatorades. Like bottles of them, not like he had them all that night, I don't think.
Oh.
He was hyped up on electrolytes.
Electrolytes for life.
Salts.
Oh, I just kicked it off. So anyway, well, she's like laying right under
me. About those YouTubers getting canceled because they're kicking dogs
and putting them in washing machines or dryers. It's really messed up.
Gross.
I don't understand that.
Oh, now she's cuddling with you. Yeah, she was like laying her head on my feet, and then I moved my foot, and then I tried to put my foot back under, and she was like, "How dare you!"
I
was
always kick Reggie.
My foot is here.
Like every day, I kick him. The other day, I hurt him really bad because I was like getting something out of the closet. It was like a regular hinged door. And he was, like, on the other side, and I didn't know, but he, like, had his paw, like, in the closet. So when I closed it, he was like, Meow! And I was like, what? And then I saw his paw was in there. I was like, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, is it okay?
But I'm like, yeah, he was fine. I mean, he, like, wasn't limping or anything, but
you're horrible.
I didn't close it hard, so I was slowly crushing his paw, basically.
Oh, my gosh.
But I'm like, I didn't, like, think you were even, I don't know.
Actually, I should go with you guys later, because I haven't seen my little Finny boy.
Yeah?
All week. I haven't seen him since last week.
Wow. You must be going through Finn withdrawal.
I guess I have to not see him for long enough so he'll run up into my arms again and be like, I missed you. I'm like, oh, the best moment of my life.
That happened 3 years ago.
It was 4 years ago.
Oh, 4 years ago. Anyway, so, yeah, at the beach, Finn snuck up on us a couple of times. So the one time we were, like, sitting in the living room or whatever, in the living area, which includes the living room and the kitchen and the dining room, which are all really small, so don't think they're like big rooms. And Jess is sitting on the couch.
Sorry, not the living room, the living hallway.
The living hallway. So Jess was sitting on the couch and...
No, but you had already put Finn to bed. And
yeah,
you
I
had,
put Finn to
read
bed.
Harry Potter to him.
Yep, we read a book. I thought he was going to sleep. And then I'm sitting there with my back to the bedroom door and Jess is sitting on the couch and she's like watching TV or reading. And I was like playing on my phone or whatever. And she looks up at me. And she's like... It was actually my tablet. She was like... oh, what are you doing tonight? Well, I was like, oh, I just eat this ice cream, play on my phone for a little bit, and then go to bed. And then she's like, what? And I was like, what? And he was like right behind us, and he's like, I was back here for 10 minutes waiting for you guys to see me. And I was like, I really thought she was like kind of tricking me, because when she was like, oh, so what are you doing? I thought she was like playing along with him, but then she was actually really shocked.
No, he just really startled me because I didn't notice him at first, and then because there's like a little like half wall, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a little.
And he was kind of like hiding
pillar.
behind that, and then I finally saw him, and it was like it wasn't like I couldn't see him, I just didn't. And it was
didn't
like
notice him, yeah.
when you just all of a sudden notice the person, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, it was funny. And then I was coming out of the bedroom, and he like hid behind the door and just like jumped out and scared me. But he like really got me again, because usually, you know, little kids like they try to scare you, and you're like, you know the story of me trying to scare. They already know it. So
not all little kids are bad at scaring.
Okay,
Just you.
Yeah. I guess some little ghost kids and stuff are pretty good at scaring you.
I don't
Anyway,
think they really count as kids.
but yeah, he had fun. We went on the boardwalk, and I told him, I was like, you know, we can play some of the boardwalk games, because usually we just play at Lucky Leo's, which is like, shout out our arcade, our spot, our game store as we call it. But usually we just play there. But I was like, you know, he always asks to play the other games, and like we don't usually play them because they're kind of a ripoff, but they're fun. So I was like, okay, we'll take like $20 and be like, okay, you can use this. And I told him, like, we'll go to the rides first. So like when we walk to the rides, you can look at the games and like think about which ones you want to play, and then we'll like use this $20. But that's it. Once it's gone, like that's it. So it was like good. And so we did like frog bog. We were so bad. We got the bucket of frogs, which is like 20 frogs. We didn't even get one in. They still gave us a prize. But I was like, wow, Finn, we're really bad at this. He's like, this was really hard. I was like, I know.
They go in? I thought they like landed on lily pads.
Yeah, they they land in the lily pads, whatever. We didn't even get one on the lily pads. But yeah, we were really bad.
Precision of language. Oh,
And
I'm
then-
starving.
Okay, then we did starving. Precision of language. You're probably just hungry. So we also did like balloon darts. It was pretty fun. And then we did a water gun race, and it was really funny actually, because we were doing this water gun race, and like a bunch of other people were playing. So I was like, okay, so we're not guaranteed that we're gonna win the prize, but if we do win, we'll get the big prize, because you know you need to have like 5 or 6 players to get the biggest prize.
Choice.
So I was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, so this is a good, like, we'll try. And then after, like, there's enough people that the person's like, we're going for choice prize. This older man, he's, like, in his 40s. And he's, like, not there with kids. He's just, like, with some other older adults. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to come in. Wait for me. I'm going to do gun number 5. And she's like, okay. So he, like, gets all set up. He's like, okay, just wait for me. And then she's like, okay. And then we get started. And I won. It's very exciting.
What gun were you at?
Number 2.
Nice.
So I won, and then like the guy is just sitting, you know, 3 seats over, and he's just like very, very like deadpan, just looks forward, and he's like, I didn't win. Like he was so confident he was gonna win, and he was so shocked that he didn't win. And I'm also like, what did you want? Like, we want a Minecraft llama. Is this something you really were hoping to get for yourself as, like, a 40-year-old man? It seemed unusual, but, yeah. It was pretty interesting, and I was really proud of myself. And then Finn kept saying, I won this llama. And I'm like, excuse me? Who won this llama? His name's
really
Josh.
Proud of yourself? No, his name was Victor.
His name's Josh.
You just
Also,
renamed him. That's like, how do you even know this dog's name is Callie? She might have a different name.
Okay. So then he's been really wanting a drone, so he's been like asking for Lucky Leo's tickets to try and save up for one of the drones. But then we played this wheel, which at the beach it has I was just like stumbling over my words, so I was just making a mumble sound.
It's like really dark in here, and my computer screen's really bright, so you can probably see my face really well, but your face is like really in shadow, so it's weird.
Okay, so anyway, we went to this wheel which has all sorts of like really bizarre knickknacks, like fishing poles and toasters and these cool like pelican statues, like really weird stuff. And we played and we won on the first one, and an option was a drone. So again, I won, but I let Finn get the drone, and he has played with it a little bit since. Although he almost took my toe off the other day because he was flying it around and it like crashed and landed right on my foot, and he didn't stop the controls. I was like, Finn! I was like, that actually really hurt. But we're gonna practice more outside so we can get better. It's pretty cool. There's like flips and stuff.
Can you get a camera attachment?
You can. I think you have to buy like a special one. I don't know if it's like strong enough to hold up the GoPro, but there's like a little one you can buy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was really excited, and he's like, it's my first drone. I didn't go.
But it's actually not his first drone, because he got a drone, like a mini little drone for Christmas like 4 years ago, but I'm not going to tell him that.
They have a special on Tuesdays where you go mini golfing. You can go mini golfing. You get 2 hours of rides, and then you get like a slice of pizza, and the boardwalk pizza is big. So you get a slice of pizza and a soda, and it's like $31. It used to be $26, now it's $31. So we did that, but Renee and I were like, we're not really going to go on the rides, especially because Finn he doesn't like big rides, so he just likes kind of like the small rides that we don't really want to go on anyway, or we might not even be allowed to because we're too big. So
he's almost too big. Some of them have height maxes.
It's so funny. It's like all the boys in our family, like not our brother, but like our cousin, and then like, well, even like our friends' nephews who sometimes come to the beach with us too. Like they don't really like big rides. Although maybe he does more now.
Yeah, they're older now, so it's possible.
But when they were getting to the age where they were too young, and they're like 8 years old riding on a ride that's meant for like 18-month-olds, and
yeah, there's like literal babies. And I was like, put up a video. I was like, oh, here's like a 2-year-old, and then here's Finn. And every time he's like, wee. And I was like, as long as he's having fun.
What's the name of that pig?
What?
You know, it's like where he's like, wee.
Oh,
wee.
Winston.
Winston, ow!
I thought you said pick, and I was like,
no, it's like
I don't really
the
name my
pig went
photographs.
wee all the way home, and then it's like,
yeah, it's a Geico commercial.
Anyway, it's pretty funny. So we went mini golfing, and we did the rooftop mini golf.
It's not great.
Seaside Heights. It's okay, actually.
It's really. It's not. I mean, it's
okay.
like
Some of it's not good, but it was like fine, and like they had pretty interesting like obstacles and stuff.
yeah, but like the holes themselves are mostly just like straight lines. They're just like rectangles, and the course is like falling apart. Like some of it was like all soggy and like. So I would say on a scale of 1 to 10.
At the Barnacle Bills, there was like 3 or 4. There were more that were just straight lines.
Quantify. I'm gonna say on a scale of 1 to 10, rooftop golf is like a 4.5, and Barnacle Bills is like a 7.
I would say rooftop is like a 6, and Barnacle Bills is maybe like an 8.
Interesting.
Anyway, the best part of it is that they have these creatures, these like statue things, and they're just really creepy.
They're supposed to just be regular animals. Like they're not supposed to be like weird mythical creatures, but they just are extremely creepy looking. So you can look at our Instagram, and we'll put up some if we haven't already.
Yeah, I don't think we put them on our Instagram because I don't know if we don't usually put a lot of pictures of Finn up there. So I think we didn't put them. I put them on my personal page.
Also, Finn is starting a YouTube channel. So
FinnTube.
It's called FinnTube, FINNTUBE. If you are interested in checking it out, he doesn't have any videos yet, but you know, you can always subscribe to the channel, probably. I don't really know how YouTube works. And then when he puts his first video up, you'll be able to see it. And once he gets, 1,000 subscribers, he can start building up his fan base and getting access to special features. So his dream is to be a YouTube star. Do you want to crush a child's dream?
I think it's so funny how like that's like
so many kids want to be that.
Like, aspire to now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
not just kids.
Yeah. But because when we were children, that wasn't an option.
Right. It wasn't a thing. And like, I don't know. It's just interesting. I was talking to someone the other day. Okay, so when we went to Pittsburgh, which we went to Pittsburgh for 4th of July, and when we say go to Pittsburgh, it's like we're visiting our family. So we have cousin fun.
And we don't actually go to Pittsburgh. We go out like right outside of Pittsburgh.
We went to Pittsburgh.
Okay, true.
We went to the Strip.
But I mean, like, we're not like going to like sightsee in Pittsburgh.
Right. We're just going to like
we're just going to Pennsylvania
family
to see
that
our
live
family.
outside Pittsburgh. So I was like, oh, let's make a reality show about cousins living together. It was like
Cousin
the real
love.
world. Cousin. That's the name of our group chat. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway, sorry, Wheezy over here. So I was like, okay, it's kind of like the real world, but with cousins.
Real world.
So we did a few clips where it was kind of scripted, and it wasn't that good. Like we tried to do like a grocery shopping, but it's hard when you only have one camera recording because we don't get a lot of good angles or whatever.
So like, who wants to watch you grocery shop?
So that was like, okay. But then basically, whenever like anything interesting would happen, I would start filming it. So like, our two cousins, they decided to make Rice Krispie treats for this barbecue. And they like got into a fight about making the Rice Krispie treats. So I like filmed it. And then later, we were talking about it again, and they were getting heated again, so I started filming it. So it was actually good. I got some good clips. And then we went to this drive-in movie, and they say to get there early because, like, you want to get a good seat or whatever. So we're there basically 2 hours before the movie starts. And so we decided to play Truth or Dare, so we were, like, filming it. And it was just really funny, and this story is really stupid, and I don't remember where it was going.
Well, thanks for that.
Anyway. Oh, I remember now. So I was watching the one clip of the Truth or Dare, and it was like pretty funny, and like the way we're interacting and stuff is fun. And then I was thinking like, oh, I really like, if I ever have like a bunch of money, I'm definitely gonna hire like a film crew to like make a documentary about me and my family.
And just like watch it in your own screening room. Just like making a professional home video.
Yeah, but it would be like not just like a wedding video, which is like nice and stuff, but like a whole crew. Because I was like, I want them to get like all the angles and like all the different stuff. And I was like, maybe if we go on vacation together or something, and it'd be like cousin trip.
Jersey Shore family vacation. Cousin love. Interesting. Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, we always said that it would be fun to just like have someone to like, even if you're like on vacation or doing anything, to like film and like take pictures of you, just to always have professional photographers and cameramen document your life, because it is really fun like watching videos. And we don't really have home videos from when we were kids. So like obviously kids today have a lot more, but then I also feel like it kind of waxes and wanes. Like when like cell phone cameras and stuff became more ubiquitous, like people would take a ton of videos and pictures, but now I feel like I don't know if people really just record home videos.
No, because the difference is when we were kids, a home video was like a person filming an entire event. So it was like, oh, it's my birthday party, and they were literally filming the entire birthday party, and they'd walk around and they'd be like, what are you doing? What are you up to?
Yeah, exactly.
And they'd just watch different stuff. People with cell phones don't do that sort of thing.
Right, because they'll just record like a clip or something like scripted. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think people really have home videos the way they used to, but they're nice. So like, I think when I have kids, I'm gonna try to like have home videos, because it's nice to just like watch yourself as a baby. Like, what was I like in my natural habitat as a baby, or like what was I like as like a 12-year-old when I was PMSing all the time? Like, you know, it's just kind of fun. And also, I will encourage my kids to keep diaries for the same reason, because it's nice to look back and see.
So, you know how Taylor Swift came out with her new album?
Yeah,
Lover.
Jinx.
I do love the word lover.
I know.
And I kind of like that song too. But anyway, she released a special edition at Target that includes diary entries.
Okay.
So I saw some of them online.
It sounds like you said diarrhea. Diary entries.
That's so stupid. Anyway.
This track includes diarrhea. Bonus tracks. So is it just diary entries, or are there bonus songs? That would be an interesting
project if you like recorded artists, like you only had artists who were like having really bad like diarrhea or like really bad gas or like something like GI related, and it was like
you just recorded their farts and poops.
No, you recorded them singing, but like while they were trying to like not like deal with.
It sounds like an interesting project. That sounds gross. Anyway, are there bonus tracks or just diary entries? Like, are there bonus songs?
I don't think there's any. Oh, well, there's like those recording things. So like voice memos.
But no songs?
I don't think so.
Oh. Lame.
I think she crumbled under the pressure of not having all her music stream.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, this was her first album where, well, I guess because, like, when did she release? I don't know when Red came out. I don't know when Spotify really even started. But I feel like for 1989, she didn't have her music on Spotify.
Right. But Reputation probably was.
Huh?
Back. Wasn't it back for Reputation?
Oh, yeah.
So
But the other thing is, like, for 1989, once it went on Spotify, all the bonus tracks went on too.
Right.
So that's kind of... So I guess they just don't... She's, like, not doing that special bonus track anymore thing. But I guess there's some voice notes.
They're interesting to listen to.
Yeah, they are.
But it's like, you just need to listen to them, like, once, I feel like.
Well, yeah, you don't... Yeah, of course. But it is interesting because she, like, shows the different ways that she, like, makes the songs and stuff. And she obviously is, like, a good maker of songs.
Songwriter.
But, yeah, so there's these journal entries or diary entries. And I was, like, reading some of them, and I'm like... And then I said to my friend, I was like, do you think that these are just fake? She's
Probably.
like, yeah, definitely.
Like, what did they say?
So, one was from 2016, which was, I guess, was that when, I don't know, was that when Reputation came out? No, I guess Reputation came out last year. Oh, no, it was 2019.
Years ago?
So 2016, I guess, was the year that, like, she got canceled or whatever, when,
Right.
like, when Kim Kardashian posted the video of her basically... So if you don't know what happened, Google it. It's interesting. But basically,
We'll just say the Kanye drama. People probably know what it is.
Well, whatever. So anyway, so the truth, I don't know. I feel like the truth came out that she essentially lied about not giving Kanye permission to, like...
Right.
write that or whatever. Not that he needs the permission, but essentially she was like, how dare he write that? And he's like, you said it was fine.
Right.
So anyway, so then, like, it was a lot of backlash against her and stuff. And then she basically wrote, it was like sometime in that summer, and she wrote, "This summer is the apocalypse," was like the entire journal entry.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just, like, I don't know, like, a lot of them it's like, okay, interesting, and, like, maybe they're real. I don't know, but I would just be like, I want to see, like, all of the journals.
I'm sure they're fake. Or at least curated.
Yeah.
You know, like, but whatever. And I don't think anything about her is authentic. So there's that.
That's fair.
But do you like her new album?
I don't know. It's okay. It, like, grows on me. Like, there are some songs I like, but then I was just reading... I only listened to it through once, and then I listened to a few of the songs that I like more times. But then I looked at some article that popped up on, like, Facebook or whatever. It was, like, Snapchat or something. And it was saying how her apartment... I guess, like, Cornelia Street... I, like, didn't really listen to the lyrics, but I guess that song's about her apartment in New York City that was on Cornelia Street, which maybe is, like, a subsection of Greenwich Village or something. I'm not really sure. And they were saying it had, like, an indoor pool, and they were like, oh, that's fancy. And then it was, like, saying how now people are, like, obsessed with it. As if she doesn't rent it anymore, so people are, like...
Oh.
Like,
I like that
obsessed
song.
with it,
I thought it was
out.
a really stupid name, but then when I listened to it, I was like, oh, okay. Because there was one, like, Cornelia Street. What is this about? But I was like, okay, that's kind of cute. Cornelia Street's okay. I like You Need to Calm Down. That's just, like, a fun one.
Yeah.
And I like The Archer. I think that one's pretty good.
I like Lover.
And I like Paper Rings.
Yeah, Paper Rings. I like that one.
It's fun.
That's the Lover and Paper Rings are probably my favorite ones.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
I don't know if I really like The Man. I feel like it's a little on the nose.
I
don't know. It's all right. But yeah, same. Like, they always grow on me. I usually don't like a lot of them at first, and then, like, I'll end up singing them.
And it's like, I get, like...
I still don't really like Me, but it is catchy.
I mean, like, Me, it's just catchy. Like, I like it, but... With The Man, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's, like, so hard with that kind of stuff, because it's, like, it's true, like, there's sexism, but it's also, like... and I get, like, I saw her on, like... whatever it was, Good Morning or something, or whatever it was, some news thing, they did a profile on her, and she was talking about it, and she's like, if a man does, let's say, she's like, talking about how, like, the vocabulary is different, so she's like, let's say a man does something, it will be strategic, but if a woman does it, it's calculated.
Right.
And I was like, okay, and she's like,
that's like microaggressions.
yeah, she's like, men can react, but a woman can only overreact.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I get that. Like, there's certain things where it's, like, true. But other stuff, like,
also, like, you're really, really successful. Like, so.
Like, some of the... Yeah, well, that's the thing, too.
But, I mean, I guess maybe she had to fight really hard to get there, but she's been successful
well, that
since
was,
she was,
like, one
a
of
teenager.
her journal articles where she was, like, saying...
Journal articles? It's peer-reviewed?
Getting in science mode. One of her journal entries where... I don't know if it was, like, just in general paparazzi being around her house or if it was, like, during the whole cancellation thing. And she was just, like... But it might have been before that, because it might have been, like, where she wrote the song... what is that song called? Where it's, like, oh, I Know Places? Because she's, like, you feel like you're hunted or whatever. The Rock wrote, like, put a post up...
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I had to sneeze. What do you want?
You shook the entire table and you, like, shook the dog. Like,
well, she looked up. She looked up.
She was just like, whoa. Anyway.
My sneezes shake dogs. Oh, she's checking on me.
No, she's leaving. She's like, how dare you? I'm out of here.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so The Rock, like, got married recently, and then I don't know exactly how this happened, but he posted that he was able to go to a restaurant, and maybe they shut it down, or maybe it was just wasn't crowded. I don't know, but he was like, oh, we haven't been able to, like, eat at a public restaurant in so long, and he was like, basically, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm never gonna complain about, like, fame,
right?
Because, like, but it is nice to, like, be able to do this. But I'm like, okay, because that's like a pet peeve of mine when famous people who continue to do things to keep them famous complain about being famous, right? And I'm like, yes, when you're famous, you don't have privacy. And I guess that she's in London, it's less, like, in America, I guess it's, like, super, like, paparazzi driven, and especially if you live in, like, LA or New York or something like that. So I guess in London, it's less like that, and so she's able to have more of, like the less bombarded.
Not a fan of London Boy.
No, that just sounds so stupid.
It just sounds like someone who, like, really, like, wants to be British. Like, I feel like now she's gonna have, like, a fake English accent and be like, oh, I'm in love with my London boy. That was my British accent.
You kind of, like, pick up some, like, British
you do pick
idioms.
Up an accent.
Not, like, the accent even, but, like, you pick up the idioms, like
I'm so knackered.
No, like, not something like that, but, like Americans say...
It's down the apples and pears.
No. Like, Americans say, like, two people get along if they like each other's company and stuff.
Right.
But then, like, British people would say they get on.
Yeah.
So it's, like, stuff like that, like...
And say, like, someone's fit when they mean hot. Which I guess...
I don't know if I would even use that term. I think it's more just, like, the little things where it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah. I don't know. It just is dumb to me. But I do know, like, you can pick up accents. Like, remember when I dated that guy from Kentucky and I had, like, a southern accent almost?
Well, yeah.
In the videos, I'm like, why aren't y'all coming in the water? And I'm like, what? Who am I? Like, we only dated for, like, a couple of weeks. From the beach. There was, like, videos of us at the beach, remember? And, yeah. It was not good.
Why aren't y'all coming in the water?
I'm like, I know what y'all doing back there. We're over here. And I'm like, what?
Dad, like, didn't like him because he had an accent.
Well, I think it was pretty valid that he didn't like him. It was pretty terrible,
but he's, well, yeah, that's true. Anyway, so, yeah, I just get so frustrated with people who are like, oh, I can't live a normal life, but then they just continue to be in movies or they continue to make music, and it's like, you can do that, maybe not the making movies thing, but, like, you could do acting on a smaller scale, and you could spend time to, like, allow yourself to fade into the background and then go do play acting if you really care about acting. Like,
yeah, like, I feel like,
or go
like maybe
in,
like a
like,
Daniel
Chinese
Radcliffe.
movies.
Like, do you think people, like, chase Daniel Radcliffe around? And he's, like, probably really rich, and he's been in a lot of movies, and now he just does, like, weird movies.
I mean, they probably do, like, wherever, depending on where he is, but it's also just, like, I don't know. It's
but
just
I feel
kind
like
of
The
like,
Rock is, like, such a big personality, and he's, like, really plays into his fame.
He's a big person. Like, Daniel Radcliffe's small.
Yeah, so you might not notice him.
He's not, like, super tall. Like, he could just be like, oh, just a normal guy walking around. Yeah, that's true. The Rock is a much more, like,
conspicuous
person.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, Taylor Swift's also tall, so that could be tough for her, because you don't see that many tall blondes, I guess.
Yeah, maybe in Hollywood. Who knows?
I don't know how tall she is, though.
She looks really tall.
Yeah.
Maybe I feel like she's like 5'10" or something. I'll look it up. How tall is...
Okay, while you look that up, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
This week's podcast is brought to you by the Beefy Boys. Just three cool dudes hanging out, talking about sports, video games, music, and whatever else they feel like. Find them at their website, www.beefyboys.com. Also, where you find your other podcasts, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, you know, all the regulars. The Beefy Boys, the best show on planet Earth.
Okay, we're back.
So I was right. She's 5'10". Taylor
Nice.
Swift.
You're very good at estimating heights.
Yeah. Bruno Mars is only 5'5". And apparently Lady Gaga's only 5'1".
Yeah, she's
Pretty
small.
short.
Do you know how tall Daniel Radcliffe is? I think he's
I feel like he's like 5'6". Jinx. I don't know. I actually
quite a
googled how rack us Taylor Swiver, but it still came up.
Interesting. If you like
The second when you do how tall is, the second option that comes up is Peppa Pig.
well, how tall is she?
I don't know. That must be like a video or something. 7 feet tall. She's 7 feet tall, apparently. Oh man, that's really tall. She's a big girl. I guess that's why it comes up. Okay, how tall is Daniel Radcliffe? Daniel Cohn, who's that? Oh, that's Danielle. Wow, he's like the 5th one down. Sorry, 5'5". Little guy.
Close.
Little. Isn't there a movie coming out, or was this something I read on Reddit that was like, there should be a movie where Daniel Radcliffe plays Elijah Wood and Elijah Wood plays Daniel Radcliffe and they're like mortal enemies? I think I read that on Reddit.
Oh, man.
That would be awesome though.
I don't think that's a movie.
That'd be cool though. So speaking
So
of
if you're a
movies,
fan
should we
of
talk? Oh.
If you're a fan of Daniel Radcliffe, you should watch his Wired autocomplete interview. You can find it on YouTube. I think it's hilarious. I just think he's so cute.
Yeah.
And his answers are like so funny. So you should definitely watch it.
Okay, check it out.
So we were going to talk about going back to school because today's Labor Day. We're recording this on Labor Day. You'll be listening to it on September 6th.
Are you looking at a calendar? Like there's nothing over there. What were you looking at?
I was looking in my mind's eye for the dates.
Because when do we publish this podcast?
Thursdays.
Oh, my watch says it's the 1st, but my phone says it's the 2nd. Get it together, watch.
So I got Chinese food the other day, and
Does it say this?
I had a fortune cookie. And I have to look it up. What did my fortune
It said,
cookie
like, you will have luck on the next
I'm going to look up
new
what
moon.
exactly it said. Not
Okay.
kind of what it said.
Paraphrasing. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it said.
Okay. It said, luck will visit you on the next new moon. So I was like, I wonder when the next new moon is. So I Google it, and the new moon was August 30th at 3:38 a.m. So I was like, sweet, that's tonight. I was like, today's August 30th. Awesome. So I texted it to Renee, and she responds with, well, that was last night, so it's the next one. And I was like,
respond with that tone.
oh, duh. So then I have to wait until September 27th.
Oh. Awkward.
It's 28 days. Isn't it like 28 and a half days or something?
Yeah. But aren't there 31 days in August?
Yeah. But it's 28 and a half, so it's at 11:24 a.m. on September 28th.
Checks out.
This Google search was fruitful. It's called calendar hyphen
Sorry.
Excuse me. calendar-365.com if you want to look up I don't know if it's only the new moons, the moon calendar, but
It's called the lunar cycle.
is it called the lunar cycle or the lunar calendar? It's probably called the lunar calendar.
The calendar of the lunar cycle.
You look ridiculous. You look like you're wearing swibbies.
It's because the sweatshirt's really big.
She's wearing a big sweatshirt and she pulled it up to her ankles.
My elbows, not my ankles.
Her elbows.
It's kind of warm
And it's
here.
like a crew neck sweatshirt, and so like it looks like she has these really puffy arms.
But on the note of water wings, like what? Stop using those. They're stupid and terrible.
Water rings?
Water wings.
Oh,
the little
yeah.
floaties for the arms. They are so dumb.
Yes, PSA. Those are not safe, and they're really not helpful.
And they're not, they don't help your kid learn how to swim, and they're not safe. Like, just common sense tells you, oh, I'm drowning. I gotta keep my arms out of the water. No, you need your face out, and those don't do that. So, they're dumb. Don't use them.
Use puddle jumpers.
Get a puddle jumper or buy a life jacket, or just invest in swim lessons.
True, but some kids, they still need to take time to learn how to swim, and they want to go swimming before they know how.
That's true. So those kids should wear U.S. Coast Guard approved life preservers. Not weird flotation rings that go around their wrists and elbows.
Wrists. Oh my gosh, great. Anyway, so Renee's a teacher, and I'm studying to be a teacher. So we're going back to school tomorrow. My kids My kids start on Wednesday, but your kids start Thursday?
Yes, Thursday. And it's like easy. The first 2 days are easy days.
I wish we started Thursday, because then it would be nice, because we got 2 days to do planning ahead of time.
Yeah, 1 day doesn't seem like enough.
They
When do you
also
have all
only-
your meetings?
I think there's only one meeting, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we have a lot of meetings.
And then I think if you have a duty, you have meetings, but we don't have a duty, so.
Lucky.
I mean, I guess.
So are you excited to go back to school?
Yeah, I'm excited.
What are you most excited about?
I don't know. I'm least excited about the long hours.
You mean 6?
No, because hilarious. No, because I babysit after, so it's like I have to be at the school at 7:30, and I'll babysit until 7:30.
Yeah.
And then on one day I have class. Was going to babysit till 4:30, and then I have class until 8:30. So it's like I'm just gonna be like working,
Busy.
so to speak, for like 12 hours a day.
Well,
So
that's
it's
because
just-
you're not supposed to have a job when you student teach. Don't you know?
Yeah, but that's ridiculous.
I know. That's like what they always say. They're like, you shouldn't have a job while you're student teaching because it should be your job. And I'm like, okay, but also like I need money. And I have to pay you, $20,000 to student teach. So
Yeah.
it's not really going to work.
Yeah, it's crazy. It'd be
But
so
I did
much
the same.
nicer if you got paid.
I worked after school when I student taught.
Yeah.
It was fine, because when you're student teaching, like, yes, you're doing a lot of work, but you're not doing everything. I mean, it depends. Like, you don't have to do everything. Like, you don't have to do all the grading. You don't have to do all the, like, management of stuff online. You know what I'm saying? Like, uploading all the files and maintaining the LMS and answering all the emails and everything like that. You can split that work up.
One thing that's kind of good is that in the district I'm in, we don't get too many, like, parent emails, which is nice. But, like,
I didn't get, like, any last year,
I think it's a little
honestly.
different because I'm trying, like, a kind of new approach.
Right.
So I'll be developing more of the stuff. But obviously I can lean back on what she has if I need to. If I'm like, okay, I just don't want to plan, like,
Right, yeah.
for this unit, like, we'll just do these things.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. And I think it'll be fun. I think your kids will enjoy the new way. And then hopefully once you do it with them, maybe your cooperating teacher will learn from you.
Yeah, she said she was, and she's, like, interested about it. I mean, like, if you like science, you're going to like the new way of teaching it. Like,
That's how I feel, but you'd be surprised. A lot of veteran teachers don't like it.
then I would argue that they don't actually like science.
Yeah, or
Like, they might
the
like
argument
teaching
is really
science.
like they are very focused on getting their kids to pass college, and they're like, oh, well, they don't do it like this at college. All they're going to do in college is lecture and tests, and so they need to learn how to take tests. And I'm like, well, as someone who's been in college more recently than you, I can tell you, like, I did a lot of group projects in science, like.
But even if,
We
like,
really did. And we did do tests, yeah, but, like, we did a lot of other types of work, too.
it depends. Like, at Rutgers, like, for the gen science classes, like, it is just lecture.
Yeah.
And then, like, tests. And, well, not exactly, because they always have, like, a recitation or a workshop, they call it, in, like, biology. But, so that's, like, almost like a like, I think of it as, like, a buffer to your grade. So it's,
Yeah.
like, in chem, you do recitation, you just do, like, problems. But then workshop is really weird. It's, like, study group. But you basically get a grade for that, and it counts towards your regular, like, grade for the class, which is nice. But the thing is, though, you can say to those naysayers that, like, studies show that even if they're doing, like, the inquiry-based learning, they do better on tests that have content that they didn't learn.
Right.
So it's, like, it actually helps
And it's
them.
also, like, as someone who's taught at high school and at college, and as someone who's been to a lot of college, like, some college professors have really stupid tests. Like, they ask so, like, such inane details that, like, don't matter. And I'm like, if you're really trying to teach someone science or anything, like, this isn't the way to do it. Like, trying to do some, like, weird memory recall and, like, a reading that you did 6 weeks ago, like, that's not important. And I think more people recognize that now. I think a lot of schools are moving more towards that, like, looking for depth of knowledge or, like, looking for the ability to apply rather than just recall. But it's just, like, there are still some that just have really weird, like, I'm like, why would I ever need to memorize this?
Yeah, but the thing, too, is, like, I was talking to my cooperating teacher, and she was saying, because she teaches AP, and she was saying basically that the next-gen science standards, the inquiry, very strong inquiry-based learning is, and because I was talking to her about the assessments, because it's really hard to develop assessments that are of that model.
Yeah.
And she was saying that it's very similar to the new AP, because AP was redesigned.
Right.
And then I found out that the NGSS was actually based off, like, AP redesigned their curriculum, and then the science for high school was redesigned. So I'm like, so honestly, like, maybe the colleges will catch up, like, probably, like you were saying. But even if they don't, like, it's still going to help the kids to have this foundational background.
But I'm just saying, for every single class I had in grad school, which I have a degree in science in grad school, we did projects. We did presentations in every single class. And my coworkers are, like, saying, oh, all you do is tests. That's the bulk of your grade. And I'm like, not in my experience, and especially not in grad school.
But they're talking about undergrad, probably. Because in undergrad,
even in undergrad, like, when I started getting to my more major-specific classes, we had tests, but our lab grade was a big portion, but we also had projects in pretty much every class. We had to do some sort of presentation or a research paper, you know, something like.
That's why it just depends, because it's, like, so freaking weird. Like, because at Rutgers, they do, like, the lab is separate, so they have the, like, recitation or the workshop, and that's included, and so it's, like, a 4-credit class.
The lab?
That includes that, but then the lab.
It sounded so creepy when I said that.
But then the lab is, like, a completely separate course.
Yeah, that's
so
weird.
You would take it, like,
how many credits is the lab?
It's, like, well, for bio, it's 2, because it's, like...
That's so weird.
And it's really
So you end up taking, like, 6 credits in bio?
Well, it's, like, there's only 1 lab for the 2 semesters. Well, honestly, for all of them. Yeah, I don't think there's a physics 2 lab. So for, like, chemistry, biology, and physics, it's, like, so for bio, you can't take the lab until you take bio 1. And I think the same is for chem. So you have to take Gen Chem 1, Gen Bio 1. Then the next semester you can take the lab and the second course at the same time. And then the chem lab is 1 credit.
Because I like taking the lab with the course, because I always felt like it really helped me learn.
You can with the second level.
Okay.
And I think they do it because they're like, there's stuff that you learn in the first that they want you to know by the time you do the lab. The bio lab there is a joke. Yeah. It's literally like completely cookie cutter, where the amount of details that they're giving you, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like absurd.
You don't need to do anything.
How specific.
And that's why I don't get how people do poorly in lab.
Huh?
Like, this is my advice to anyone who's starting college or is going to take, like, their first science lab course. Read your lab instructions ahead of time.
Yeah.
You can save, I would say, probably 2 hours a lab period if you just read your instructions ahead of time.
So it depends, because if you go to Rutgers and you take biolab or whatever it's called, you aren't allowed to leave. You have to be there for the entire, like, 5 hours.
If you go to a normal college where you're allowed to leave.
It's like 4 hours, but then there's an hour and a half afterwards where it's like, essentially, it's so stupid. It's a professor who's reading you the lab for the next time. And I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. That's probably why it's 2 credits, because you have that, like, course that goes with it. It was like completely idiotic. I was like, this is so
much of college is so dumb.
But anyway, like, yes, when I did Chem Lab, read ahead of time, and then also you can, like, answer some of the questions, because a lot of the questions at the end are just, like, theory-based. They don't have to do with your data. So then, like, you can get it done. I would be done with Chem Lab in an hour every time. It's like a 3.5-hour class, and I'd be done in an hour, and they let you leave, so.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
I know.
much better.
Oh, it's so much of school is so dumb. And I say this as a teacher, you know, like, I don't know. Tim's frustrated with, like, his college because he's, like, has to take his gen ed, and he's like, why do I need this stuff? And I'm like, well, that's because, like, to be a college graduate, you have to have, like, a well-rounded education. You know, you have to be able to prove proficiency in all different fields. But yeah, some of it's really stupid.
That's true. One thing that I think is good is how they start making kids, and I feel like this is when you were in college, they started making
like public speaking
be a requirement for the gen ed, which is good, because I mean, so many people are really bad at public speaking.
God, they're terrible. Even after the class, like, when we did that class, we did a survey at the end, and everyone's like, who do you think was the best speaker? And everyone's like, Renee. And then they're like, what did you like about this person's speech? And someone's like, oh, I liked listening to Renee because she sounds like a kindergarten teacher. And I was like, that's weird. And then they're like, what did you learn in this class? And then they were like, oh, Renee's not even going to be able to say she learned anything. And I was like, guys, you're embarrassing me.
Oh, that's where the class was. Remember you were trying to talk about that? Did that happen in religious ed too?
Yes, it's happened to me multiple times. It's so embarrassing. No, but I mean, I've always been a strong public speaker, partially thanks to Girl Scouts, and partly just because I exude self-confidence because I'm amazing at everything I do.
Some people feel that way.
Like, how many old ladies have told us, you're so poised?
I know.
That's like their favorite adjective for us.
Weird.
I'm like, thanks. Weird.
I'm a pretty poised response.
I'm like, whatever, old hag. Go be a grandma, knit a sweater.
Well, side note, our friend had a baby shower a couple weeks ago.
She's having her baby soon.
Our grandmother couldn't come because she was having some health issues. But her presents were, like, really adorable.
They were so cute.
She made a super cute blanket, and then she made, she bought her these, like, tie-dye, because we, like, love tie-dye, and this friend always throws a tie-dye party. So she bought her, like, tie-dyed onesies from Maui.
Yeah,
and then, like, cute
really
sayings on them. And then she made
what was it, like, something and chubby thighs. It was really cute.
Yeah, I can't remember. They were really cute. And then, was it a mermaid tail?
Yeah.
She made one of those, like, knitted mermaid tails for the baby.
Like a crocheted blanket.
Because the theme of the party was, like,
blanket.
mermaids and unicorns.
Yeah,
so.
It was mostly unicorns, I feel like. But I guess the theme was mermaids and unicorns.
Because we had more unicorn stuff.
Yeah.
But the hats that were on the table were little, like, and, like, if you looked at the centerpieces, they were half mermaids, half unicorns.
Yeah.
So it was
It's cute. She got a lot of unicorn stuff, so we're hoping she likes unicorns.
I feel like she probably will.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't, really?
Right. I mean, do you know what a group of unicorns is called?
A blessing.
Yeah.
You recently told me that.
I recently heard that on the Beefy Boys podcast.
We probably told this story before, but when our cousin was little, she went up to Renee, and she was like, what's Jess's favorite animal? And Renee's like, I don't know, a giraffe. And she's like,
what's her
what's your favorite animal? And you were like, what'd you say?
I was like, a cheetah? And she was like, does she even like unicorns? I was like, oh, I didn't know you meant, like, mythical animals. Wait, well, wasn't there, like, a time when she was saying something about... I don't know. I like unicorns, but honestly, like, I don't know, like, think about people who love horses. And then, like, people who love unicorns. Like, is there a difference?
There's definitely a difference. Unicorns are magical horses.
Oh.
They have different features.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, let's move on because I want to know, are you excited to go back to school?
I'm excited, yes. I'm not excited for the commute. Like, in the summer, I had to fill up my gas tank, like, 3 times. Driving the hybrid around town, it's, like, really pretty fuel efficient. Oh, yeah, because then you started taking the bus to work. Yeah, I took the bus to work, and, like, when you drive in the local area, you can use the battery, so driving on the highway, you don't get those same perks, so I'll go back to filling up, like, twice a week, which sucks. But I'm excited. I think this is going to be a good year. I told Tim I want to dress more professionally, so we went to Goodwill and bought some clothes.
They're very raggedy.
Yeah. No, they're nice.
I'm kidding.
And then...
Wait, do you always feel excited, and then how long does it take before your excitement balloon pops and you just hate it and you want summer again?
Probably like September 15th. No, I'm excited. Like, I'm teaching a new class this year, which will be fun, and I'm doing the college, but I'm not starting until the end of September, so I have a couple weeks to, like, get into the groove with the high school. I'm teaching with the same co-teacher I had last year, and we have, like, we're really good at team teaching, so I'm excited to keep building on that. Yep, so that should be really fun. When I first started teaching, my supervisor told me she thinks it takes about 7 years before you, like, really get in the groove of teaching, and I, of course, like, rolled my eyes, and I was like, 7 years, please, I'm already a professional. And then, like, now it's my 7th year, and I really feel like I'm actually getting into my groove. So I'm like, I guess you were right.
Tell her that.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe she'll hug you.
So, yeah, like, I'm excited. I know my content so well now, and I'm getting better at incorporating the new standards with the NGSS, and it's fun. Like, it's good to build a good rapport with the students, and I'm hoping that my kids will like me this year and not be, like, buttheads, but it's hard to say. But I think if I set a good culture, then we'll have a good year, and if we're doing those fun types of inquiry-based projects, like, who wouldn't like that? Like, it's just enjoyable.
Yeah, it's fun.
So
it's more interesting.
I think it will be fun. And last year I had a pretty good year, and I'm hoping to have another good one. And yeah, I'm excited. I have to do some more work to get ready for my meteorology class, but I don't think I'm teaching that till the spring semester, so I have some time. But it should be interesting because it's new.
Nice.
And then I don't know if there's anything else, like, new happening at the school. We'll see. I will miss my work wife, but she's coming back in November from her maternity leave. She's, like, always having babies, always going out on maternity leave. So she's coming back, and that should be the last baby, but you never know. I mean, her husband had a vasectomy, but you never know. So we'll see. And then I told her, I was like, by the time you finally come back, I'll probably start going out on my maternity leave. So I'm like, we'll just never see each other. We'll be ships passing in the night. But
yeah, that's fun.
It's exciting. It's nice. And I think the college will be fun. I'm doing geology again, which is, like, I've done it so many times now. It's pretty easy. I think I'm doing some classes in the winter semester, so that should be fun.
Cool.
Yeah. Pretty nice.
Nice. So a few years ago, we were on vacation at the end of the summer, whatever, and Renee was like, oh, it's so hard going back to work after having 2 months off. I was like, nobody feels bad for you.
Well, it is hard.
I mean, I understand it, but it's also like nobody's gonna feel sympathy for that.
But also, and to answer your question honestly, though, like, when do I start to feel like I miss summer? I mean, I always, like, love summer, so probably all the time, but Tim, like, always makes fun of me because I'm always like, oh my gosh, it's, like, already Christmas. And basically after Christmas, like, it's just summer, because after Christmas it's, like, only 2 more months until spring break, and then after spring break it's, like, basically just summer. And so he's, like, always making fun of me because, like, it's starting in November, I'll be like, well, it's basically summer, and he's like, it's not, and I'm like, it basically is. But really after spring break, I would say, is when it's, like, pretty much summer.
I meant more like when you're like, I can't wait to get out of here. I want the school year to be over. Like,
the probably times when I feel that is just, like, in the dull, dark winter months when I wake up and it's dark, and I drive to work and it's dark, and I drive home and it's dark, and then I miss the light. But as far as, like, wanting the school year to end, not so much. Does that make sense? Good. I just hate the dark of winter. If the sun could be up all the time, it would be so much easier for me to, like, stay awake and wake up early.
Move to one of the poles, or closer to.
Yeah, we'll just do that. I'm sure they really need a lot of teachers up at the North Pole.
You have to just switch.
I have to live half the year in the North Pole and half the year at the South.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I want to go to the South
Pole? That's a good idea.
All right, so should we discuss some of our forays into film this summer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, on a really quick side note, though, I did ask Finn if he's excited and ready for 2nd grade yesterday. I was like, Finn, are you ready for 2nd grade? And he was like, no. And I was like, you better get ready. You have, like, 3 days left. But he's excited, but he said that he's, like, nervous. He thinks it might be hard. And I'm like, well, that's okay. It's good to be challenged, so hopefully he'll like it.
He's, interesting. Oh, you didn't tell them about the thing that he won, the free hugs thing.
Oh, yeah.
He won this little sloth, and it has a shirt that says free hugs, and then he gave me a hug, and then he said that I owed him $1. And I was like, well, interesting, because my hugs are $15, so you actually owe me $14. And then he's like, I don't have any money. And I was like, well, where's my money? So then it became a thing, and he would give everyone free hugs except me because, quote, he only gives free hugs to people he likes. I was like, thanks.
Well, Finn can't control who the sloth likes.
Yeah, it became a big thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we went to see a lot of movies this past week, so we ended work at the summer camp where we work on like the 16th of August, so we had the past 2 weeks off, and we spent a week at the beach, and then this week we just kind of hung around and went to see 5 or 6 movies. Well, we actually went to see 5 movies, I guess.
5 movies this week, but we saw a few that we haven't talked about yet.
So we were going to have a cool video that you could watch, because after we saw the 5 movies, I was like, let's make an Instagram live or whatever. And Birdie was like, I look so hideous. Quack, quack, quack. So she like wouldn't be in the video, so we didn't make it.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't want to subject
Scare
you to
you.
that. But anyway, so what are the movies that we have seen since we discussed our midsummer review of movies?
So are you sure that we didn't see, when did we see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Are you sure that that wasn't discussed already?
Pretty sure, because I think the last one we saw was Lion King.
No.
Let me check my ticket stubs. When did we publish our last episode?
We recorded it and published it on the 25th of July.
Yeah, we saw this on August 5th.
Okay, so we saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really liked
There's a
it.
thunderstorm happening. Weird.
I knew it was gonna rain. You said
I thought
it was
I heard
just cloudy.
I meant it was cloudy right then. I thought I heard thunder rumbling, but now I just got an alert that lightning struck within 2 miles, so I guess it was thunder.
Good ear.
Thanks. You probably couldn't hear because you have those dorky headphones on.
Oh, side
you're wearing
note.
your earmuffs inside.
Side note, we were at the beach, as we had said, and Finn was playing in the sand, and Renee had brought her chair over by him, more towards the edge of the water, and we were a little further back. And I heard someone say, was that thunder? And then I looked at my phone, and it said, lightning struck within 5 miles of your location. So I went to get them, and I was like, lightning just struck, let's go.
She was like, I'm like reading, and she's like, Renee, there's thunder. Let's go. It was like so dramatic. I was like, okay.
I was like, it's not safe.
I was like, okay,
so then we go, and we're like cleaning up, and Finn's like, I was like, come on, Finn, let's go.
She's like
And then
so slow because
I
he
was
didn't
like,
want to leave.
there's a thunderstorm rolling in, and while I was getting them, I asked the lifeguards, I was like, well, we just heard thunder. There was like lightning strike nearby. Are you guys gonna close? And they're like, we wait till like headquarters calls us. And I was like, okay. So we're like cleaning up, and I'm like, come on, hurry up. And these people kind of like near us like roll their eyes.
Yeah,
and I was like,
oh, it's not even raining.
I was like, Finn, I was like, it's precautions. But the thing is, if you don't follow the precautions, that's when you get struck by lightning.
And as the Weather Channel always tells me, if you can hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning.
So then we actually start seeing some of the lightning as we're walking to the house. And then
Well, right
shower,
when we get up
which
to
we
the
probably
edge,
shouldn't have showered.
right when we get to the edge of the beach, they blow the whistles and close it. So then it was like a mass exodus that
Yeah.
everyone's like following us, and we're like, haha, you should have listened to us.
Yeah, it was so funny. And then we took showers, which probably shouldn't have. I don't think you're really supposed to take
You're not
showers.
supposed to, but
with
whatever.
But
It's
anyway,
very
we were like
sandy.
covered in sand and jellyfish. So we took quick showers, and then we were like playing board games, and it was like a lot of like thunder and lightning for a really long time, and then it finally started raining, which was like just weird. I guess
Yeah,
it was just, like,
it was bizarre.
a thunder lightning storm. Anyway, but it was funny because I was like, there's thunder, let's go. And then we rolled out like 10 minutes before everyone else. Wahaha. Anyway, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I thought it was good.
It was weird. I mean, it was good. I liked it. I like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's
Don't
a
give
good
any
actor.
spoilers.
Okay. I'll just say that like, at first I was like, oh, I guess it's not going to be very gory because, you know, Quentin Tarantino is like all about the gore. And I was like, I guess it won't really be that gory because like for most of the movie, it was just like about the characters. There wasn't like fighting really. But then it got pretty gory at the end. So I was like, oh, that's where they put the gore in. Gross.
Yes.
So you'll get your gore fix, you know, but it's not overpowering.
Thumbs?
I would say like a thumb and a half up.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was interesting and good. It's
Same.
an original story.
Okay, moving on. Then we saw Good Boys, which we saw on like Monday, I think.
Yeah. What about Dora? Did you even put it in there?
No. Why did you add it? I forgot about Dora.
We also saw Dora
Okay,
the
we saw
Explorer.
Dora.
Dora. That was cute. I mean, Finn really liked it. I thought it was funny.
I really liked it.
It was cute. I mean, some parts were like really corny.
I mean, it leaned into its corniness, and it also like if you watched the show, which we watched because like we would like watch our cousins when they were little, and it was on then, and so it was funny because like it's in the previews where she's like, say delicioso, and then her parents are like looking at her
because she's just like staring off the side right into the camera. Can you say delicioso? Say delicioso, and they're like and then they're like, she'll grow out of it. It was funny. It was cute.
It was really cute. I thought it was good. I'd give it like 1.5 thumbs up also.
Yeah, probably the same. It's good.
Nice. So then this week we saw Good Boys.
Yes,
which
that was weird.
I really liked it. It was funny. It wasn't like, I mean, it had like,
it was pretty vulgar.
It wasn't that vulgar though, considering.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it was, but like in a lot of it, the boys are like really innocent, so they don't like know necessarily like what they're doing. But there's like some stuff that you're like, okay.
So it's basically a comedy about these 3 boys who are starting 6th grade, and they try to be like cool, and then they like accidentally lose their parents' drone, and they're trying to like go on these misadventures to get it back.
Right.
But meanwhile, they're like doing a lot of cursing and like.
It's a lot of cursing. There's like some random paraphernalia for drugs and other adult activities.
The only thing I was saying to Renee, I think it's unrealistic that 6th graders would be that ignorant about a lot of that stuff, because they like really didn't know about like.
But I don't know, 6th grade, like.
It depends, I guess. They were kind of like nerds.
And also like, I feel like middle school is where you like learn a lot of that stuff. They're like starting 6th grade, so that means like they just finished 5th grade.
But they all have
still like
smartphones.
little kids. Yeah, but I don't know.
I don't know. Just knowing the kids I know who are in 6th grade, they definitely know way more than, like, what those people know.
Yeah.
Not necessarily about, like, nuanced, like, terms for sex positions, but, like, with certain drugs, like, they definitely would know, like, what certain things are. That they
yeah,
like,
but also, I mean, it's hard to say, like, because if you know 6th graders, they obviously know older people. Like, these 6th graders, maybe they don't, like, have any older friends or siblings or cousins. That, like, makes a big difference, too.
That's true, I guess. But I know some 6th graders who don't have older siblings or friends.
Why do you hang out with 6th graders all the time? You're so weird.
I babysit for them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but yeah, they were very innocent. It was pretty funny. I would give it like a thumb up, probably.
I'd give it a 1.5. So then we saw Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And that was a book that our book club read. I didn't really like it. It was okay.
Didn't really like it. I'd give it like 3/4 thumb up. It was like fine.
It wasn't really like boring. Like it kind of kept your attention, but like you had said.
I think the problem was, so I didn't read the book for book club because I like never do, but then I read it when we were at the beach, so I had just read the book, so like it was very, like all the discrepancies were super obvious to me because I had just read it. That's why I personally like to watch movies before I read books. I know that's like kind of against the grain, but because I feel like since the books are usually always better, I'd rather watch the worst thing first and then have something better after, so I'm not comparing the movie to something better. And the book is interesting. I mean, it's good. The movie was all right. I think, who was it? Kate Blanchett?
Yeah.
She did a good job, like, portraying some of the mental health problems that the character was having. Like, I thought she did a pretty good job, but I didn't overall love the movie. I feel like the book, there's a lot of different kind of things happening, so it was kind of hard to put that into a movie. I mean, some things they totally cut out completely, but even, like, yeah, like, all the stuff with the police involvement, like, even in the book, I was, like, I'm kind of confused about, like, what they even want from her. They were basically just like, you're the victim of a crime.
No, I think they were.
Okay.
No, I think they were trying to protect her because essentially they were saying that
they thought the person was going to come kill her or something.
That was the plan, was the person was going to come and essentially, like...
kill her and assume her identity.
Yeah, or, like, get ransom from her or something. Like, so they were going to come and, like... So I think they were just trying to protect her at that point.
Right.
But yeah, that was like, I mean, that was like so weird when that happened in the book. I was like, what? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
But it just added that extra layer of like, wow, you were just like blindly giving all of your like information.
Yeah, I mean, it was
this,
really,
like,
when she's first
assistant.
reading it and she's like, oh, just use this. I'm like, dang, she just like sends all her stuff out. Yeah. But.
So that's pretty crazy. Especially because a lot of that stuff she probably could have just done online herself.
Yeah,
but I guess
easily.
she was just like too busy or whatever.
Just the thought of it like overwhelmed her.
So yeah, I mean, and I think I went to the bathroom when they first went onto the boat because I thought that was weird the whole way they did the.
Yeah, because they changed that up.
I think that my problem with it is like in the book, it's like I don't even know. Maybe it's like more than half, but I feel like it's less than half where you get to when she actually disappears. Or there's like more where they're actually like looking for her. Because in this, it was like they go to Antarctica. Like it was just like weird. It was like they were barely looking.
And I
for
didn't
her.
really
They were like
like-
she's missing, and then they like just go on the trip, and they're like, oh, there she is.
Well, no, because the Audrey told them I drove her to the airport. She was gonna meet
so
you
I
there.
missed that part.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So she told her that, like, didn't you guys see her at the airport? She told me to drive her there. She was gonna catch the same flight as you, and they were like, we didn't go. So then they're like, oh, she's on the boat. So then they knew she was in Antarctica. So then they were like gonna take the next cruise ship, and they're like, oh, there's a day when they like overlap. They're like both gonna be at the same port on the same day, but then they like weren't.
Okay.
Because the other ship had left
Okay,
before.
I see.
Yeah, but
So
like I didn't
they,
really like
knew
that.
the whole time that she was on the boat. So then why did they have to go get her? Like they could have just seen her when she got back.
Who knows? I don't know.
Like it was a lot better. Like it was just kind of like the where'd you go part was completely missing. Like they never had.
Yeah,
that
it was never like,
mystery.
where'd you go? It was always like, I went to Antarctica.
Yeah, like because in the book you don't know that
Right.
until because then like the ship comes back and they were like, oh, and they kind of had that for a second, but the whole time the audience knew that she wasn't missing. But in the book, it's like her ship comes back and they're like, she never got off the boat. She's
Yeah,
not
we
on the
haven't been able
boat. We
to
don't know
find
where
her.
she is. And they just like, and then you assume she killed herself because that's a common way that people kill themselves is jumping off cruise ships.
Is it?
Yeah, most cruise ship deaths are suicides.
But I mean, is that like a common way to commit suicide?
No. It's I think a common way that people on cruise ships happen to die.
Okay. Makes more sense. I'm like, that seems like a little elaborate. Anyway,
Okay, let's move
so,
on.
but
I
for
give
that
it one
one-
thumb up.
yeah, I just also feel like,
meh thumbs, no thumbs up.
because even when she like escaped in the book, she like escaped from like a second story bathroom, and that's why they were like, oh my god, where did she go? Like they figured she ran out and snuck out somewhere, and like they didn't think she just climbed out a window. But in
Yeah.
the movie, she just like climbs out a first story window bathroom, and it's like a bathroom window. It's like, I don't know, because in the first one they were really like, oh my god, did she get kidnapped? Like did she sneak out? Did she
But
like
see,
go somewhere?
And they could have still had her go to that same bathroom because it was like on a hillside.
It was totally random. Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So moving on to Peanut Butter Falcon.
The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Is it called?
Yeah.
that? Oh, okay. Anyway, this
So I had not heard of this movie before Jess asked me to see it, and I was like, what movie? Thinking it was some weird autocorrect, because Jess is really bad about proofreading her text. Like, she's really, really bad about it. So today she's like, oh, the microphone's in my truck. And I was like, since when do you have a truck? But she meant her trunk. But anyway, like, I'm just going to look really quickly at where the N and C are on my keyboard.
Anyway.
And yeah, not really that close to each other. 2 letters away, N and C, so obviously just type truck for some reason. Anyway,
No, I probably just typed truck without the C or N.
truck. Okay.
And then it just
I'm like,
corrects
I probably
the
just
truck.
typed truck. I'm like, this is what I just said. Okay, so the Peanut Butter Falcon is about a man who he lives in like a residential nursing home because he has Down syndrome and he has no one to take care of him. So basically he's like, I don't belong here. Like these are all old people. Like I'm not old, and he's unhappy and he wants to like escape. So he keeps trying to like escape. And then he watches these old wrestling tapes and he wants to go to this wrestling school in Florida. And they're like in the Carolinas, in North Carolina. So he wants to go to this wrestling school in Florida. So eventually one night his roommate helps him escape and he slips out. But he doesn't bring anything with him. So he's just, and he had to like
Wearing underwear.
grease up his body to slip through the bars. So he's like just wearing underwear and then he like slips out. And he runs into Shia LaBeouf's character, who is basically like a vagrant.
Yeah.
Like he's like homeless. He can't really hold down a job. He's like really, nasty kind of.
He's kind of like
guy.
running away because he does like fishing and crabbing, and he basically like stole this other group's crabbing.
He like pulled
he
up all
stole
their
their
pots and
he
stole all their crabs. And so
they
they're
were,
trying
like-
to beat him up or kill him.
And then he like burned all their equipment. So then they're like really want to kill him, and he's like running away. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
and he's like has issues because his brother, basically like you find out in the movie that he like basically killed his brother in a drunk driving accident. They don't like explicitly say it, but that's what happens because the brother had died, and then you see them like drunk at a bar, and then he's driving back and he like falls asleep at the wheel. So he's obviously just like really messed up over that. So they end up like going together, traveling together because Shia LaBeouf's running away. The Peanut Butter Falcon is, you know, looking for this wrestling school. And at first Shia LaBeouf's like, I'm not going to take care of this guy. But then he like tries to ditch him. But then these kids are like being really mean to him and like bullying him. So he goes back and he gets him. And they like decide to like do their little trek together. Because Shia LaBeouf's like going somewhere in Florida. So he's like, this is on the way. So you can stay with me. You just got to keep up. And I read a review that was like, oh, it's like a Huck Finn type story, which is like,
yeah, that makes
kind of like it is, yeah.
It's kind of like
so they build this raft and they're like floating down the river and they meet some like interesting characters along the way and they just form like a nice bond. And then all the while, this social worker is like looking for the man. What was his name again?
Zach,
right. So she's looking for Zach and she had a close bond with him, but like, you know, she felt bad that she's like, he doesn't really belong here, but there isn't a better option. And then you're
giving a lot of details.
Yes, I'm like describing this movie. So then the supervisor at her work is basically saying like, we're going to send him to this like hardcore like mental institution because he like ran away. And she's like, he doesn't belong there. So she finds him and then she ends up going on the adventure with them and they end up like ultimately just coming together as this weird little family.
Yeah, it was really sweet and touching.
Jess was crying a lot, and she was sniffling up a storm. Oh, my God.
Because there were a lot of really sweet moments that, like, make you cry. And I just think Shia LaBeouf is, like, a really good actor.
I think he's really good. And I remember saying, like, I was watching the previews, and I was reading reviews, because I was like, what is this movie? And he was getting, like, some good, like, you know, some good praise and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that Shia LaBeouf is, like, getting good critical acclaim for this movie. Like, I hope that people actually will, like, that maybe it'll get, I don't know if it'll get awards, it's kind of a small movie, but like, you know, that it will get some recognition because I've always thought he's a good actor and I feel like people just like roll their eyes when they hear his name, you know. I feel like they have like a really bad like taste in their mouth about him, and I know he's kind of like, I think he's kind of crazy like in his personal life, or he's had some like weird like issues
and stuff.
But I'm like, he's a good actor, I've always thought, and it was a good movie. And he was, like, really jacked in the movie. So if you are into, like, hot bods, there's a lot to look at there.
A lot.
Yeah, he spends a lot of time topless. And he's, like, that dirty kind of homeless look, but, like, it works for him.
You like that look.
I love it. It's great. So,
what was that homeless guy's name that we met? Josh or something?
I don't know. The really tan one.
I was like, you have homeless hands. His hands were, like, so tan. And he was basically like,
yeah, I'm homeless.
He wasn't really home. Well, like, he was kind of homeless. He just like stayed on random people's couches. He probably slept on the beach sometimes. I mean, we're in San Diego.
True.
Couldn't sleep on the benches though.
You're not allowed. It's like those bird spikes they put out. It's like very cruel. Anyway, so yeah, that's a really good one. So I would say if you haven't seen that movie, you should check it out. Even though I told you most of the story, it's still worth a watch. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell you all of the parts, so there's still a good ending that you may be surprised about.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I really liked it. So
bring your tissues. It's a sad one, but sad and happy.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Touching.
Yeah.
All right, and then our last movie we saw. Oh, two more.
2 other movies. So then on Friday we saw a double feature.
2 movies one day, double feature.
Whoa.
So
the first one was The Farewell. I did not like it at all. It was
pretty boring. I was really excited to see that movie. It looked really good. The previews were pretty good.
The previews are more
touching,
heart-wrenching than the film.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it might be better if you are Chinese. Like, I don't know. Because of the cultural aspect, like, there might be more that's touching to you.
This is the thing. There's one part where the mom says to the daughter, what do you want me to do? Scream and cry like you? I can scream and cry if you want to, if you want me to. But the daughter never screams or cries. Like, does she even ever actually cry?
She cried.
She barely cries,
in the
though.
Beginning.
Like, you would think that she would be, like, hysterical. Like, I thought it was going to make more sense, or that you would see her every night go back to her room and, like, really cry and stuff.
Yeah.
And she, like, never does that. She just, like, walks around, like, with a sad look on her face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then
but maybe that's part of it.
I mean, like, saying,
in the
like,
whole
stop
movie,
acting like that because your grandma's noticing that you're acting like that. The premise is that the grandma's dying of cancer. She has stage 4 lung cancer, and they don't tell her that she's dying. And they basically say, like, why would you do that to her? Like, why don't you want her to just be happy? And they were saying, like, it's our burden to carry. It's, like, our job as her family members to carry the burden of, like, the grief of having to say goodbye. Like, she doesn't need to have that burden.
And they were like, they say in China, like, there's a saying, it's not the cancer that kills people, it's the fear. So, like, we don't tell you, and then you have a better chance of living longer. But, I mean, and I guess it is common practice. I don't know if that's still true, but that is based on a true story. So I listened to an interview with the writer and creator of that movie. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had that perspective. And, like, so it was, like, interesting, I guess, to know, like, this is, like, really her life. But even, like, at the one part, she's like, I had a conversation with my mom in the movie, like, when she's talking about how, like, when they moved to the United States and, like, she was so confused and, like, they weren't explaining things to her and, like, they kept her in the dark and, like, it was so scary. But then, like, I feel like nothing really came of that conversation. Like, you know, the mom and her have such, like, a contentious relationship, and I feel like you wanted there to be some kind of, like, reconciliation, and there, like, really wasn't. And I was like, that was kind of, like, sad. Like, kind of a letdown.
Did that happen before or after the mom had the fight with, like, the cousin about, like, living in America versus living in China?
That was before, I think.
The conversation that she had with her mom was before?
Yeah, the fight that was before the talking about.
Okay, so the fight was before?
No, the conversation between mother and daughter was before the cousin conversation, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so then the cousin conversation might kind of be the way that her mom was doing that. Because she was like, this is why
like
living in America is better for these various reasons. And then the cousin's like, no, it's not. And she's like, okay, but you're still sending your son to college in America? Like, why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
it was interesting. Like, I don't... And like I was saying, it might be interesting, like, from if you are Chinese or, like, have Chinese cultural background to see, like, some of the culture. Like, I don't know if there's certain things maybe I didn't pick up on because, like, I'm not as familiar, you know, with the culture. Yeah. If that makes sense. But it was interesting, and, like, it was pretty boring, though. I mean,
yeah, it was just, like...
I feel like it could have been a lot better.
It dragged on. It wasn't very...
I did love the grandma. Nai, she, like, was so cute, and her interactions with like, Awkwafina's character was, like, really cute. Like, that seemed, like, so authentic and just, like, such a cute grandma. Like, you really just loved her all of it for no reason. Like, you don't even know this lady, but you just loved her a lot.
Well, I think they said she lived there until she was, like, 6.
Yeah. No, I'm saying as a viewer, you, like, love the grandma.
Oh, okay.
She's, like, very lovable. But, yeah, overall, ultimately, I felt like it was kind of a letdown. And I knew it was subtitled, but it was almost entirely subtitled, which I did not know.
Well, I don't mind that, though.
I don't mind it. I read,
but honestly, you kind of
I read
forget.
closed captions.
The only problem is if you do look away for a second, or if, like, there were 2 times where it was too fast, I couldn't read everything.
Yeah.
That only happened twice, though. But, like, that's the only problem with subtitles. If you look away for a second, like, even if you're just, like,
where's like talking so much.
Like, you're trying to put your drink down and find your cup holder, and you're like, dang, I missed what they said. Oh, yeah, these ladies, like, it was, like... It was weird. I was like, okay, probably because of the film we chose, but, like, and it was, like, 1:30 in the afternoon on a Friday, but it was, like, 8 other people in the theater, and they were all, like, over 80 years old. Probably not that old.
They were probably, like 70 plus.
Old. And what were they even saying? At first, they were, like, I guess they didn't know it was going to be in Chinese or whatever, and they were, like...
I don't know.
And in the beginning,
like, is this even the right movie? Because it was, like, the credits
Chinese
were, like, in Chinese characters.
And then it, like, went to English, and they were like, oh, yeah.
But they just kept saying all kinds of stuff. Like, even at the previews, they were like, oh, and this and that. And I was like, oh, my God, please don't talk through the whole movie. It's, like, so annoying, but...
Also, in Good Boys, there was a group of, like, young boys in front of us. Like, maybe, like, they were probably, like,
teenagers,
16, 17.
Yeah. Like 15,
And they kept, like, throwing popcorn at each other. And then
wrestling.
at the end, they were, like, stealing each other's shoes and, like, running around. And I'm like, can you do that after the movie? Like...
Or, like, go outside.
Distracting.
Or just not do that. And then there was also, like, a mom with, like, her 2 kids in that movie, and they were, like, 10 years old. And I was like, this is not an appropriate movie for these kids, but okay.
It's not an appropriate movie.
I'm just saying, like, as a parent, I would not want my 10-year-old to see that movie and then have to explain to them, like, what all that different stuff was. But maybe she's trying to, I don't know, expose them to 6th grade before they start. It was weird. So how do you rate The Farewell? I say, like, half a thumb. Or no, probably sideways thumbs. It was meh.
I say 1 thumb down.
Ooh.
I just found it to be really boring.
Yeah, it was boring.
And I don't think a movie can be good if it's really boring.
And the aunt looked like Fred Armistice.
Armiston or whatever. Yeah, the aunt. I was like...
The great aunt. And at first I'm like, man, she's really not attractive. And Jess is like, oh, she looks like that Fred guy. And I was like, oh my God, now I cannot stop seeing that. Like, because, you know, he always, like, dresses in drag for, like, or whatever they call it now.
Portlandia.
For Portlandia, yeah. So I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like, Candace is my favorite character in that show.
Is that the one from the bookstore? Yeah, that's pretty funny. Alright, so that's not a great one. You could probably skip that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's in theaters that much longer. So then we saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I have a little frog in my throat.
Go get some water.
So you can swim around in there?
Oh my god. So then we saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It was okay. I mean, it was like just what you would think it was. It was
kind of scary. There was like a lot of jump scares.
Yeah, they had jump scares, but they were kind of predictable. But like, I mean,
it wasn't the lingering type of scary, but like it's like the jangly man. He was scary.
Yeah,
he was creepy looking.
It was creepy, but it was just kind of like, and it was enjoyable. Like I would say, it was a fine film. Again, like it kept your attention. You didn't feel like it dragged on. The pacing was fine. The story kind of made sense. So you were like, okay.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, I mean, it was like cheesy.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good.
They set
Except
it up
like
for
at the beginning,
one.
there's like this character, and he comes into town, and you can tell like he's like doesn't belong there because it's like the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
And then they start calling him like racial slurs, like saying he's Mexican, and I was like, I thought he was Indian.
I thought he was
just
Indian
like me too, but he was apparently Mexican. So I was like, oh, okay.
Well, no, they didn't. It wasn't even when they did the slurs. It was when he said his name was Ramon.
Oh yeah,
you were like, I thought he was Indian.
I was
like, so did I.
Yeah, because I'm like, it did like he definitely looked foreign, or like, but I didn't think he was like supposed to be Mexican. But whatever, that was interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, overall pretty good. I mean, we read those books as kids, so like it's kind of fun to see them come to life. I wanted to see that movie, and I thought it was enjoyable. It was spooky, but not, like I said, not the carry with you kind of scary.
Yeah, it was
not the nightmare inducing.
That the spider one, like she didn't die, because like in the story, does she even die? Like I think it's just like the spiders come out of her face. Like I don't think she.
Yeah,
dies.
I don't think that would kill you.
Yeah, so like it's kind of like we saved her, but I'm like, but was she gonna even die in that moment? Like,
I mean, maybe
I
it
don't
would
know
have been
if
the
I ever
spiders
read
kept
the one
coming.
about the red room.
I don't know if I did either. But again,
I don't know.
It was like he just got like hugged to death, which is like still scary, but
And the thing is creepy that hugged him, but
yeah, it was pretty creepy. That's true. But yeah, the spider one, and then they're like, "Well, you didn't save her. You sent her to the nut house forever." And I was like, "Okay," but she did look crazy.
Dead, I guess. Well, I don't know. It depends.
It seems like maybe they were trying to set up a sequel, so I'm not sure if they're gonna have a second one. It's possible. I'll check it out if they do. Now, upcoming, we have purchased tickets to see It Chapter 2.
That's gonna be creepy.
Finnegan's like, there's a new movie coming out called It Ends. And I was like, I think that's the tagline. But yeah, I know. We're going to see it. That looks actually really scary. The first one I thought was like pretty cheesy. Pretty sure we reviewed it on here. But the second one, I saw a preview. Well, we saw previews for it like a bunch of times when we went to the movies
I don't
this
think
week.
we reviewed it on here.
Oh.
Did we?
Probably.
When did it come out? We only started this podcast like 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay, well, maybe we didn't review it on here, but whatever. It's, like, was pretty cheesy. Well, we talked about, like, we always talk about Georgie. Pop, 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 pop. You know?
Finn likes popcorn now. I think
Yeah.
we heard about that on the last episode.
So, in the preview, there's, like, a scene where they're at a carnival. I think it's, like, James McAvoy's character. And they're, like, in one of those fun houses where there's all the mirrors, Hall of Mirrors or whatever they call it. Why are you shining that light on me? You don't have to look at me.
It's creepy. I can't see you.
Gosh.
It's weird.
So, you know I'm afraid of flashlights. Okay, I'm not afraid of flashlights.
This is a really long episode.
Okay, it's almost done. I'm not afraid of flashlights, but I don't like to use flashlights inside when it's dark because it's extremely creepy looking. Like, I feel like in every, like, murder movie and stuff, they're using, like, a flashlight. So every time I see that type of lighting, I'm like, no, I'd rather just be in the dark than use a flashlight. It creeps me out. Flashlight light is scary.
But, first of all, I was flashing it at your face.
Okay, but
and
I'm just saying.
you have this computer to light.
Okay, so
this side
anyway,
of the room up.
let me just finish this description. So in the preview for It Chapter 2, there's in the Hall of Mirrors, and, like, there's a little boy in there, and James McAvoy, whoever was character, is trying to, like, rescue the little boy, because he's like, oh, it's gonna get him, whatever. Pennywise. So then you like see Pennywise. He's like behind some of the mirrors. So there's like the little boy is in front of a mirror and Pennywise is like behind it, and he's like banging and like the mirror starts cracking, and then Pennywise is like licking the mirror, and it's like so creepy. Like it's just like a creepy tongue and like his big teeth, and he's like licking up by like the little boy's head, and I'm like, that's nasty. So that looks really scary, but I'm excited to see it.
Because one of the parts that was so weird in the first one was when they're on like the riverbank and he's like eating the like bucket of chicken, but it's like baby arms.
Yeah. And he's like, hi, and he like waves the arm. It's like, that was just like a little corny, a little campy, but it'll be exciting to see the second part.
Yeah, I want to read the book.
Me too. This is really long.
It's like interesting.
You'll have to get it on Kindle because you know your arms get tired when you hold up big books.
Okay. Yes. But I can read hard. I can read I can hold up big paperbacks. I just wouldn't get it in hardcover.
Yeah.
It was like when I was reading Harry Potter and I was like, oh, your weak wrists. Or I had like that big, like, the complete collection of like Alexander Dumas or whatever.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Anyway. All right, so anything else to add? Final thoughts?
My final thought is I want you to stop saying final thoughts at the end.
Oh, but did we even give thumbs to scary stories? I
give it like
thumb and a quarter up.
1 thumb up.
Okay.
Thumb and a quarter or thumb and a quarter thumb? 1 and a quarter.
1.25 thumbs up.
So Renee gave her cat catnip, and then she was describing what he was doing, and she was saying that he had his hands on his face and he was using his leg to scratch his face. And I was like, hands? You mean his paws?
Yeah, his
and
front paws,
his legs or his back paws?
His front paws are his hands, because when he like holds things, he holds them with his hands, his front paws.
But sometimes he probably holds things with his back paws if he's like doing a huggy.
Yeah, sometimes he hugs with all 4. But when he stands up, he stands on his legs, which are the back ones.
When he stands up, he stands on all 4 of his paws.
No, that's when he crawls. That's when he walks. But when he's standing up straight, he's on his legs.
He's also a really good jumper.
Yeah. And now he's like been perching and then attacking toys from up top. So,
ooh.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like you can come and check us out on our socials.
Nice segue.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so check out us on our social media platforms.
So you can check out our website. I don't know. Let's put some cool stuff up there. dearfootsisters.com. You can find us on facebook.com/dearfeetpodcast. Or you can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Dearfoot Sisters. Please follow us, like our Facebook page, comment.
And you can send us an email at dearfootsisters@gmail.com.
I thought we weren't doing the email anymore because we want them to connect with us through social media.
Oh. Or comment your stories. Remember, we're looking for some spooky stories for a Halloween Spooktacular.
Also, if you go to our website, you can like contact us, and that goes to our email address.
Okay, so anything you want to add to, or anything you want us to talk about second season, if you are interested in being a guest on this show, you could reach out to us and we can see about maybe setting something up. We're looking forward to a fun second season, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so let us know what you want to hear. If you want to be a guest, we may be able to start doing a live stream. That's a thing that might happen, which would be cool. Maybe we'll have another live Facebook party.
Maybe
right.
We will invite you to our Halloween party via Facebook.
All right, well, we're the Dearfoot Sisters,
and we're prancing away. Bye.